Marvel. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode. I guess technically it's not. It's the first one I'm releasing of the series called Carpool Reviews. Carpal Tunnel, aka you can call me Chris. And I have done a few of these where I've recorded it, but I haven't released them yet because I am very busy. I am show running a cartoon series right now, called The Forgotten. And where do I put time in to edit videos like this and still write and show run a show? Well, I'm trying to see if I can actually balance, because balance is a thing that is heavy on one side and usually a lot lighter on the other side, but I'm going to try. Um, just so you know, my background, why I can review and criticize or interpret or yeah, just react to film and television is because I am a film and television major. Got my degree, my bachelor's in film and television at CU Denver, and I got my associates in recording arts at Front Range. So I got a resume of understanding things, all things media, like theater, television, film, music. Um, Working on my art degree, no, my art understanding and why wish ish oosh osh. Um, that aspect is me understanding aesthetics, and by me studying comic books, you can see all over there. If the sun doesn't, there you go, that way. Um, Read all of these, understanding why the artwork is so distinguished. Has to do a lot with emotion, personality, characteristics. And that's why today I am going to do my first review from the movie Fantastic Four, First Steps. Um, if you could tell from these things and behind me, I'm a Marvel fan. So what I do, that's what I love, that's how I was raised. And then from the other things, you could tell I'm a big Prince fan. Prince right there, and all of these Prince t-shirts. And that was a pretty long introduction, but for my first episode, deserve an introduction. Now, roll the sponsors. We are sponsored by all of this. Oh, I wish that we were. Oh, here's our sponsor, Tabasco. Tabasco. When you need to be like a human torch, Tabasco is not the way to go. You have to go even spicier than that. You go to the Hot Ones, which is our actual sponsors, Hot Ones. When you need to torture yourself on camera, book an appointment with Hot Ones. Not really our sponsor, but maybe one day. Shout out Hot Ones. Marvel is our true, not really on this, but one day, hopefully they can pay me to talk about Marvel. Hopefully one day they pay me to write for Marvel, because that is what I do, is I am a writer. And I am a film person, and I am now a showrunner. And sorry that I'm talking like this, but this is what I do, and I am nervous and trying to find a way to transition to the review. So today we're reviewing Fantastic Four, First Steps. Spoiler warning, warning. Spoiler warning for the Fantastic Four. If you haven't watched that, I can't even say skip to a sequence because how do I talk about I can talk about it without talking about it, but I am not doing that with this channel. So this is a spoiler review. I'm doing this so you can see Marvel. Let's get into it, because this was a great film. Oh, sorry, that was a spoiler. Guess you should make the choice on yourself rather than listening to me first. But if you have not seen it, just know that I am going to be talking about some big things. Um, my first review, how do I start this? I start this as what my heart and my soul got from this film. As an empath, I take a lot from creativity, and there was a lot I could take from this. Um, just so you know, I have never read a Marvel comic book, or I have never read a Fantastic Four comic book. I've read a lot of Spider-Man. I've read a lot of Daredevil. Daredevil's my favorite hero. I've read a lot of Avengers. I've read a bunch of Ghost Rider and Defenders, Heroes for Hire. You see right there. Um, I'm a big Punisher fan too, so I've read Garth Ennis's Punisher series, and I, in general, am a big Marvel cinema fan. So I've seen everything that Marvel has ever produced, um, even Blade. And I don't know if you know, that is a Marvel King, Stanley King. You don't know who Stanley King is? It is a really bad joke. That's what that is. No, Stephen King, not part of Marvel, but that would be great one day if Stephen King did be a Mephisto film. Spoilers also for other shows and movies and everything. I'm going full nerdiac DC reference. Um, yeah, where do I even start with this? I guess I start with my reaction. That is how people usually start, right? It's how they start. Yeah. My reaction is, as a Marvel fan, as someone who knows a lot about Fantastic Four through other comics and media and all of my research and all is all my nerdology. Um, this was the first Fantastic Four film that I really connected with. Not to hate on the past ones, the original Fox one, um, or Fantastic, Fanforstic, Fan. I do this a lot because I try to pronounce words in a way that I can try to communicate it. Because that is me being me, and if me being me hurts you, I'm sorry. And if you got that reference, you will in Act Two of my review. I'm also a poet and rhyme. That wasn't supposed to be poetry, but yeah. Um, so one of the reasons why I haven't been able to connect with the Fantastic Four in previous stuff is due to my not maybe not me. I guess it is me because it's all internal, but it's due to the fact that they did not make the Fantastic Four in previous franchises, um, like the X-Men, like mutants. They really try to make you really connect with one character, and they're like one character you might be able to connect with. So we are going to make all four characters different. And by them doing that, it really lost this parallel connection that the Fantastic Four really had in this film. They really did. This is the first time I'm like, they all are in the same emotional connection with their audience, which I have heard a lot of fans of Fantastic Four, people that I knew who they're their favorite team, they're the first family, and they really connected with them because of this the problems that they all have to fix, solve, but they do it all in their different ways, which is what they kind of did with this film. I'll get more into that here in a second. But the heart of them being one heart, I really felt in this. Yeah, there's the conflicts, interpersonal conflicts that they deal with between each other, but it all revolved around heart. It all always did in this film, where in the past films, like yeah, Chris Evans had a heart as Human Torch, but not one that was wasn't overshadowed by his player misogynistic type of personality they gave him. This rough exterior that they gave Chris Evans in the original Fantastic Four films. Um, and I guess he goes through a bit of that turmoil in The Rise of the Silver Surfer, but that actually made more sense to give to the Thing, who has the rough exterior. And even with the Thing in the past films, they had not really captured, let me rephrase that. They tried to capture what the Thing goes into as being a hard exterior with a soft heart, but they made him more introverted in a way where no one got to see his heart. They only got to see his rough exterior, which I know certain comic books in Marvel will actually explore, that no one can see the heart within the rock, within that rough exterior. But this film did it way better. If you want to argue against that, then you have to comment. Um, Make a dialogue though. Don't yell at me. This is my interpretation as Carpool interpretation reviews. Um, and Sue Storm has always been a character that I have always seen this layer of depth in. Um, I probably need to read more. Probably need to read one Fantastic Four comic that's not a crossover. But the fact of an invisible woman is always been so fascinating with me. I come from a Cuban family that is a matriarchy. So women are our power. Women are the ones who brought my whole family to Cuba. It was four strong women, my grandmother and her three sisters. who fought to get the money to get a plane ticket for all of their family to come to America and give them a better future. So they were never invisible to me. Women have never been invisible to me. I'm not just saying that as a man with eyes. Might have been a bad joke. But more as women are the pedestal of my existence. I mean, I wouldn't be born if it wasn't for a woman. I have views within religion that are like humanity cannot be born without a human. Or, yeah, I mean, that actually made sense. But humans couldn't have been born without a woman. So a woman was the first, you know, chicken and the egg situation. It had to be a woman. Because a man couldn't just give birth. So do have that type of outlook on why Invisible Woman had been the only one I really connected with in Fantastic Four in past films and in comic books and stuff is the aspect of being invisible, being unseen, being looked at as someone that only can create boundaries rather than someone who can actually save the world. And in this film, they really nailed all of the aspects of why Invisible Woman is my favorite Fantastic Four character and why she has always been my favorite female character in all of Marvel is the metaphor within being an invisible woman. Because I'm an invisible woman. I say that because I've always been cut. No. Why I have always been visible as a woman to people. I've been always called a little girl, a baby girl, a all of these words that I am not trying to be demonetized. So I'm not trying. I've never been monetized on YouTube, but I'm trying to be monetized. So all these bullying words that they've always called me because I'm a sensitive male who cries and is not afraid to show emotion and is always the first person to comfort um, comes through the strength of the women that raised me. And Invisible Women always gave that aspect of this metaphor of um, I've been looked at as a visible woman. A lot of women get looked at as invisible. And I've really always connected with that aspect. Um, I'm not a woman. I wish I was because I could probably be stronger, but I'm not. And I'm not one to change to be a woman. But if you do, I understand why, because the strength of women is so inspiring. It is something that makes me stronger, is the strength of women, all women, um, people who were born women that were not born in the body of a woman. All of that aspect is such a powerful sentiment and something that needs to be really explored in more media to make transgenders actually feel seen. Which brings me to the invisible part, is the seen part. I feel like in some aspect in this in the storyline of Fantastic Four, the invisible part is about not being seen as a woman. So the invisible woman is actually someone who inside of them, their soul is a woman, but they're seen as a man. Um, and their barriers that they put up makes everyone else see them as a woman, and it makes them invisible. And if that did not make sense, don't worry because this is a complicated aspect and I'm trying to explore because I am I'm gonna say a philosopher, but it sounded kind of pompous. Um, so taking in the lens of a woman being invisible, not only through that lens of the transgender community, love y'all, by the way, love you, I accept you. Y'all give me strength, power. Um, and if you don't accept transgender men or women, transgenders in general, then probably not going to be the right show for you to watch. Because I'm going to be talking about a lot of things that are symbolic of this human journey that we take. And I'm taking you on. Um, so that is something that was really lacking in the last two Fantastic Four franchises. Um, is this aspect of what it really feels like to be invisible by the ones around you. Even though you might be the strongest one, foreshadowing. Well, I'm foreshadowing yeah, it might be the first thing I have to cut out. Eek. Um, so they are foreshadowing her strength as the one who's actually knows how to be someone in power and the sacrifices you have to make. She's not sacrificing herself. She is only sacrificing her image. Um, One of the most powerful scenes is the first scene that I cried with is when she takes Franklin out to the the crowd of mob, the crowd mob, the mob crowd, to basically explain why she is not willing to sacrifice her child for all of humanity. And I will be getting into this in a future talking point, but she is not going invisible. She is like, look at me, see me, see me. I'm a mom. See my child. She could have easily just went invisible with her child, and no one ever found her. No one ever sacrificed her. I mean, maybe Galactus could have, but um, maybe Silver Surfer could have, as another woman, unseen. But the fact that the role of the mob is a philosophical thing that everyone is on each other's side when everything gets riled up. Horrible way of explaining that, but it's more simple um, than how conspiracy theories will lead other people to conspiracy theories, which is rule of the mob mentality. Um, I don't know if it was Plato. Or, actually, might have been Socrates. That actually, yeah, it was. If I'm wrong, like this, no, don't. If I am wrong, let me know who the philosopher was, but I really want to say it was Socrates because of the role of the mob and the sophist. See, I still remember philosophy. The, the sophist created the role of the mob mentality by making other people believe that in what they believed in by riling them all up. And then if a group of people believe in one thing, it leads to this type of um, contagious mentality. That's the best way I could talk about rule of the mob. And so when everyone was like, Franklin Richards should, this little baby who's innocent, who's not been a part of all of this, should be sacrificed to save us all. Um, she did not try to hide her baby. Instead, she brought her baby in front of them and she's being visible. She's like, my baby is the reason why I'm doing this. My baby has a name. It's a person. Look at my baby, or else you will not see your humanity of being willing to sacrifice something that you don't know about. The ignorance is something that she was fighting against, and she did a perfect job at that. Like I was literally crying. I was like, I mean, I cried during the birth, but I cried heavy during that moment. It was when I knew that like we were talking about some deep stuff, trying not to cuss, but some deep shoes um in this film. And that's when I was like, I already knew that they were going to. I mean, this is the first time Kevin Feige got to do don't quote me on that, but it's the first time Kevin Feige got to do a Fantastic Four film, at least in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And they were going to do it justice. And I think they really did with their casting, with the acting, with the storytelling. I mean, their cinematics. I watched it in 3D and like that was like crazy. My little nephews that were next to me on each side could just being like, I've never seen a 3D film like this because of how great the cinematography was. And I got to explain to them why cinematography was so much in depth rather than some of the stuff they've seen before that still seemed flat. Um, what it was great cinematography. The director of photography, I don't have his name. If I when I finally do edit this to actually have stuff, I will actually like point out their name. That'd be in this direction. Um, Jeez, yeah, such a beautifully shot film. I know I was talking about Sue Storm because I'm still at that point of showing you what is visible and the invisible. It's like a conversation of layers of depth, um, what's on the surface versus what is behind the surface, and what is the subtext even further from what is behind the surface, which brings me to a great point of talking about Ben. You might know him as the Thing, but if you call him the Thing, that seems hurtful. His name is Ben Grimm, and I'm going to refer to him as Ben for the rest of this because calling him the Thing is actually calling him that surface level of, oh, you're different. You are not human compared to Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Woman. The Human Torch. There's a reason why they're all named like this in my mind. I believe this is the aspect of it because by calling him the thing, they are leaving out every human part of him. Women, human, and Mr. They all denote um, humanity, where he's looked at as not human, but he was the most human one out of all of them, except maybe Human Torch. But I'll get to him in a second. Um, his aspect of being his outer exterior, like I said, inside this rough thing that was born out of him from being in a very, I'm gonna use the word ghetto, but a very broke kin community. Um, what is he? Is he? I think he's Bronx or Brooklyn? Bronx? Queens? No, it's not either of those because Queens is Spider-Man. Brooklyn is Captain America. Bronx. I think he's Bronx. I probably should edit that out as me thinking that, but I'm not going to because I'm a busy man. Um, but the by him being from a broken community, broken in a way where they were left behind by the government, they're not actually getting um, the type of funding they should into their communities. So instead, they function from community and through each other, which leads to mafia style gangs and a lot of things that leads to crime and all this stuff, which makes you a hard person on your outside. I know this, and I'm speaking this from experience of coming from a place in Colorado that everyone around me was in gangs. I could not be soft because everyone around me was. The only way to even find community or an acceptance and stuff is if I joined a gang. And I fakely did just so I can have protection from this world around me. And I had to create this rock barrier around my skin, which is supposed to be brown, but I write too much, so I haven't been in the sun much. Um, and that exterior toughened me up to be someone that I wasn't. I am not a thing. I am not rock. I am portraying myself as this, but inside I was always the sensitive crybaby. I've accepted it now, but I always was the one who cared way too much and cared to a point where I would sacrifice a lot of aspects of me. Um, which is exactly why I sacrifice my my visibility, my what people perceive me as for community. I sacrificed all that to be accepted. So I acted like a thug. I acted like a criminal. I acted all these different things so I would be accepted by my circumstantial community and led me to a lot of imposter syndrome. I mean, I didn't know what it was back then, but in the future, I had to really deal with this aspect of what is the imposter? Me being me, which if you got that quote, you understand? Or is it me being you? I guess just to give you some clarification, my favorite line in the film is You being you hurts people. Me being me hurt people. Me being you hurt me. And you being me did not never hurt me. And I'll get back to that theory. Because I still haven't talked about Johnny. Johnny, aka Captain America, aka Chris Evanstein, and Human Torch. Probably a bad joke. Chris Evanstein. Chris Evantine is what I was trying to say. Um, the Human Torch has so much in this film. There's a lot of depth given to him that I had not really seen before in any media, in the games and video games, comics, in his guest appearances and different stuff. Because he was not the Human Torch that they tried to tell the story of in the past films of the playboy, the one who is so hot that you cannot see the person inside of him. Um, where in this one, he was always being that person, that hero, the person who's willing to self-sacrifice and burn himself alive to save the world. He was our character who was self-sacrifice every moment, from even the first time that he flamed on. I don't even know if he said that in the film. Yeah, I don't know if he said that at all in the film. Um, when he went out to go confront Silver Surfer, who said something to him sincere and his heart could hear it. He had so much empathy. I've never seen Human Torch with that much empathy. Um, because he never felt like she was actually going to harm him. Or harm. Like she didn't mean harm. She was dealing with her own aspect of hiding herself behind her exterior. Um, and everyone saw the Human Torch as someone who all he is this hot boy instead of realizing that his heart burns just as much. His heart also yearns because he is the one who is trying to show himself to people. And I mean, the fact that he is Sue's brother, they both deal with the invisible thing because he is invisible as someone who is actually can help the team, but his mind is invisible. The only thing that is visible is his hot exterior. And I mean, just all four of these characters together deal with the same exact aspect of sacrifice, sacrificing something out of yourself to try to for people to see another part of yourself, which I am going to make the theme of this and what my film analysis title being of all this is the quote, and this is how I remembered it, but it might not be exact because I didn't have a notebook in the theater, but is you being you hurts people. And I mentioned that earlier. That me being me hurts people. You trying to be me hurts Elmo. There he is. No. You being me hurts you, and me being you hurts me. This aspect of this outer exterior of being in general hurts. It hurts somebody. It hurts everybody. And it hurts, especially it hurts yourself. And the only thing that doesn't hurt yourself is you being yourself. But being yourself hurts other people in a way where they're not being themselves. So when they see genuine things, it hurts them because they're not able to be them genuine self. This is reflected in so many people. In so many, I'm saying so many characters in this, and so much in this film. Specifically, Galactus is one of the biggest aspects of that parallel of his hunger, the thing that he was kind of cursed with, this ever-ending hunger, which he wants to end. Um, him being him being the hunger hurts worlds. It changes worlds. His impact is devouring the world around you, which if you know anything about people that are being themselves in a way, not being themselves, but being what the world made them into, narcissists, um, xenophobics, racist, them being that hurts the people around them. It hurts everybody. It hurts. It hurts people. Um, and when you're not being yourself, if you are a racist or xenophobic or a devourer of the worlds around you, um, then you are hurting your circumstantial community because they believe in these aspects and it makes you feel like you don't have community and you don't belong. And that's why a lot of people will grasp on to these aspects of hate to try to fit in with their circumstantial people, the people that hate. And then you doing that is hurting the people that should be loved, the people who don't hate, the outsiders, the outcasts, the people from other countries, anyone who looks different than you. And all of this together is a big aspect of humanity and why humanity is actually the big theme of this film. Because humanity is devouring itself through all of these aspects of hate, all these aspects of greed, gluttony. Um, I mean, there's all seven sins are present in this film, Fantastic Four. And that's why it's representing all the bad aspects of humanity. But it also does shine a light on the good aspects of humanity and what can become of humanity if we do not devour ourselves from the inside out, from the core of the earth to the outside, which is the whole aspect of they explored where Galactus devours the world from the inside out. Humanity is Galactus, and it's about how love and the future of humanity, the future of, I mean, the child of humanity protects the world, it can protect the world from the inside out if you do not lean into devouring the child itself. If you do not make the child the devourer. I think that's how I say that. And that's why Franklin Richards is such a great written symbolic film because he's the one who can create worlds. Humanity, everyone else wants to devour him. But if we do not devour the one who can create the world and save the world, then our world is saved. But we are more inclined to lean into our humanity, our sins, all these things that make us human in a way. Also makes us Galactus. That are we going to sacrifice the future for our own personal greed, gluttony, envy, um, wrath, all of these aspects. And each of the four Fantastic Four actually deal with some one of those aspects. Um, kind of had wrote down a note of that. That was one thing I was like, oh, I got to really write that down. But the aspect of the sins of humanity being our own destruction, which I think is going to be a very big point in the future of Marvel. I mean, it kind of had been in a way with Thanos and how the more we populate, the more everything just needs to be destroyed and wiped out. And by him just snapping his fingers, corrects everything. The symbol of power, which is the symbol of Galactus. Um, and the symbol of Marvel in general. With great power comes great responsibility. Now, what do you do with that power? And the one person who could do something with that power is Franklin Richards, because he has the power to create worlds. We just have to be able to get him. Our power cannot devour him. We have to let the future create the world after us. Because if we devour him with all of this hate, all of these sins, then he is now left with no world to create or a life to even be, or a chance to create it. Um, yeah, I'm talking a little bit about global warming, climate change, and politics and all this stuff, but that's what they're doing in a way that makes it understandable and simple, but you have to be able to see that layer of depth. You have to see through that layer that we build around upon us, the rock layer, the fire layer, the stretchy layer, the invisible layer. Um, or else you're not gonna understand what this film was trying to say. Because this film was trying to say that we are the Galactus and our future children are the Franklin. And Galactus wants to consume what is going to happen to our future. And if we do not make a stance and actually try to save the future, then Franklin, then our children are will not be able to save and create what they're not going to be able to create the world that can save itself. Um, Evidenced by, spoiler alert, Franklin saving Sue. Because if if they sacrifice Franklin to Galactus, Franklin would have never been able to save Sue. So look at it a way like if we sacrifice ourselves to our humanity, then the future cannot save us. And Tiger Claw. Um, sorry, my ADD kind of gets in the way for me. So you being you can hurt people. You being me hurts people. Me being you hurts me, and you being me saves the world because I am that great. No. Um, it's us being us saves us. And that is my general thoughts on this film is that us being artists, us being who we can be as humans, that is what saves people. But you just being you can hurt people. But you being us saves people. That's what art is all about, and that's what this life is all about. So hopefully you got something from this, and hopefully I can do more of these and really break down and interpret films for everybody because that's what I have went to school for, what I do. Ish what I do. And um I guess lastly is that um we are headed to doom. I will break that down maybe in another video as a end credit sequence thing, but we are headed to doom, which is not me talking about the film. That's me talking about the leaders of our world. We are about to head to doom unless Franklin can fight him. Franklin is the one Doom is trying to take. But can Franklin really can Franklin mature fast enough and understand what the world is about to become? Or is Doom gonna devour him just like Galactus tried to? So at the end of the day, it's this future generation that holds the keys. And we gave them a key that might not even be able to turn the door of Nirvana. I mean, the door of saving the human race. We gave them a pretty rusted ass. Ooh, I just cussed, but at least it's been so long. We gave them a pretty rusty key, and hopefully it can still work. And yeah, that is my carpool review for Fantastic Four First Steps. I hopefully this goes well and some people watch it because then I'll probably try to edit scenes and all this stuff together. No, I don't have time. This is more of a podcast review. Yeah, if you enjoyed it, give it a like, subscribe to my channel, and don't devour the world. Let's let's be us, because us being us saves us, doesn't hurt us. Carpool Tunnel out, and I will see you next time for my next review.